Oh, we need to unplug the. Fuck. We need to unplug
Go ahead and do it,
dude. You know I can't reach it. I gotta be a dick.
Go get your mop or stepladder and just.
I don't have a stepladder on me.
I can get you some drywall stilts. Unplug that shit.
I can unplug it. You go unplug it. I ended up going home and I napped for 4 hours. And then I woke up, went to the store, came back, and went to bed. That's what I did.
That's impressive.
Yeah. It's pretty impressive.
Did anyone give you like a gold star?
No.
How about a pat on the back?
That's what I really needed in that moment. Honestly, that's like the biggest downfall of not having a girlfriend right now is I don't have like emotional support right now.
You should just buy a snake or something, or like a reptile, and just love it.
Why a reptile? Reptiles don't show affection.
Reptiles represent.
Rather get a dog. No, I was upset. I was angry.
You should get a horned bullfrog. Skr skr.
Are those the ones that make the noise?
Yeah.
Are those frogs?
Those are those frogs.
I thought about getting a crap. I want this load.
A parrot.
What is it? No, a hermit crab. Because they're like
you.
They're like I mean, kind of. They take a lot of effort to take care of, but they're like adorable and they can live for like 25 years. Like, okay, maybe 15 to 20 years. But like you can get them different shells and they'll move into their new shell when you buy it for them. They're just like this big. They're just like cute little like they're adorable, but they're like really hard to take care of.
Are they expensive?
They're like the bonsai trees. They're like the bonsai tree of shellfish. So yeah. Definitely thought about it though, because I read a post on 4chan that talked about how great hermit crabs were, and it kind of won me over. So yeah, that was that. Trying to find this Cavs stream. It's not working.
I didn't know they were playing tonight.
They are.
I don't follow basketball.
The Charlotte Hornets their Twitter was talking shit today.
Talking shit?
Yeah, they were. It was more like throwing shade at the Cavs Twitter. Like, that's just like what sports teams apparently do now. Like, social media is just like throwing shade at other social media accounts for other teams.
Just because.
Because it's funny and it gets clicks.
It stirs up drama too.
They're not trying to create real drama. It's more like tongue-in-cheek.
But it's like
tongue-in-cheek.
Some news outlets be like, oh, Charlotte's talking shit.
Yeah, people will take it out of context. I mean, even Reddit takes it out of context because they're retarded. But it's more funny than anything. Yeah. I think it's funny. I mean, especially because you like the Indians' Twitter account. Probably is hilarious. It's legitimately hilarious. The Portland Trailblazers Twitter account is also funny. They were talking about they traded one of their players for cash considerations.
Ooh.
And cash considerations is literally just like getting money back and getting rid of a player without getting anyone in return. That's the good deal for cash considerations is you might get this money like off your payroll next year or something like that. And their Twitter account literally posted like a picture of a stack of cash and said, "We're hoping to see big things out of cash considerations this year." As in it was like a new player or something. It was pretty funny.
It's kind of strange because sports teams and especially their management, all the press that went on about them was super serious all the time. You know, and now it's like everyone's kind of infected by this new 2017 personality, right? Like from 2014 on, where everyone's getting a little bit more social.
I feel like everybody's just a little high strung. Maybe not. I don't think people are changing. I think it's the climate that's changed, and also, God, Shumpert is awful at basketball.
Oh, is it on right now?
Yeah. I think it's more that people are on edge because they're constantly being bombarded with things. that are in their face. I mean, we just had another shooting today, I believe. Another mass shooting. Like, we had the one in Texas a couple days ago, and then we had this one. And people are seeing that. Like, this stuff was always happening. Maybe it's happening a little more frequently now, but
maybe it's just getting more press coverage. Because I've heard of some shootings like that just stay in local news. Yeah. They never really go nationwide.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's the climate that like these things are making headlines everywhere all the time with the advent of Twitter and other networks that keep that news like constantly. You know, they'll show you what's trending.
It's
so even if it has nothing to do with you, you'll still see it. So it's that's what we're seeing is a lot of that all at the same time, and now you're exposed to all of it. There's no filter anymore. Not that you want to filter, but when you're getting so much, you get overloaded. So I feel like people are really high strung. Like, you start looking at each other different. You see someone on the street, you start looking at them different. You're like, I wonder if they could,
Yeah, kind of make.
And I think that ruins our day-to-day interaction. So I'm trying to. That's why I took a break from politics and kind of zoned out and took a back seat to it because it was getting to be too much. It was affecting like my interactions with people in real life. So that was that.
That was Politics with Jason.
Shumpert is so bad at basketball. I could dedicate a whole episode to Amon Shumpert playing basketball or trying to. He's... Okay, that was a good pass.
I have no idea
what Kevin Love just bricked a 3. Sorry, I have the Cavs game streaming in the background right now.
You should just do sports.
I promise I won't be giving commentary on the whole game.
Just give us a sports cast.
Yeah,
let's break it down.
I really hope it's not picking up the audio from that. It shouldn't be. It should only be picking up from the mics.
No,
let's
thinking
go ahead.
About it like
sorry. That was a ooh, there you go, Love. He made up for it. That was a really long intro. This is episode 12 of the Amused with the World podcast. I'm your host, Jason Hartzler. Joining me, as always, is the one and only
Mike Stifler here.
Ooh-wee. Mike, are you low energy right now, or do you need a little pick me up?
Hot boy.
Okay, he's hyped because it's a Wednesday.
I'm good because it's Wednesday.
Just don't use up all your meme magic early. Save a little for the end too. Anyways, today we're talking about more allegations from Hollywood, and because those are always fun, and also we got a you know what? Hold up, we got a sick ass intro that we need to do before we do any of this.
What's that?
It's the intro theme for Amused with the World podcast.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's do that.
Hey, things are tough and people crazy. Hey, times are hard and no one's smiling. Hey, you should be laughing. You should be laughing. You should be smiling. You should be smiling.
The world is tough and people are confused. Now is the perfect time to stay amused. So from Jason and all the good folks here at the studio, we ask you to let us help you stay amused with the world.
And we're back. It's good to be back after a week of not being around. I'm just kidding. A lot of stuff going on this week, not just with the podcast, but also in the world at large. Firstly, I want to mention that we are now officially on iTunes and Google Play. That's right, guys. You can now download us anywhere you go. We're always there for you. You don't have to tune in on the YouTube, but we'll be posting links on Facebook for all of that, just so you know. So that's exciting. Also, I tried to contact Spotify about getting on Spotify. This is going to be interesting because they, as I told Mike, they do not accept everyone.
No,
they do not accept everyone that does a podcast. It's not technically a podcast.
You need to read that email that you actually sent.
The email was great. I sent them a nice email about trying to get in their podcast, and
you just kind of messed up.
I mean,
if you could say that.
No, I didn't. Oh, okay. Yeah.
The first one, I'm talking about the first one.
Yes. Okay. So the way it works is I had to do a lot of Googling just to figure out how this works. With Spotify, apparently you have to email a specific group within the Spotify to ask them for a permission to post your podcast on Spotify, and apparently they have to approve you through a survey form that you have to figure out.
So I assume it's more like begging.
You're essentially that's what it is. So I went ahead and I emailed them, and if I can find the email here, which I probably won't be able to on short notice. Oh wait, maybe I will. Oh yeah, I will. Oh yeah, it's happening. So I sent an email to their little podcast account or whatever, and this is how I worded it, because I ended up accidentally clicking send before I had even finished typing it out. Luckily, I was at the end of a sentence at least when I accidentally hit send. Because this is how it reads, because I had grammatical errors in this and everything too. I wrote, "Hi, this Jason Hartzler, the host of the hottest new podcast, Amused with the World. I'd like to get our podcast on your platform as soon as possible. Our audience is growing slowly but surely, and many people have approached me asking what platforms we're on. And while we're on iTunes and Google Play now, we still get asked if we're on Spotify. Now, I'd like to respond to them with an enthusiastic yes." And then I accidentally clicked hit send. I was going to type out like 3 more paragraphs that I thought would be better, but I accidentally hit send right after like the caps lock yes with an exclamation point. So they probably think I'm retarded, but they did send me the survey in response to that anyways. They sent me some link. I went to it, and then
I did something similar to that at work. I was just thinking super hard. I was like, okay, I'm going to respond to this person, and then I'll work on this next project. So I type hi, and I click send.
Oh shit!
I click send.
Oh god, with customers you've done that?
Yeah. With the customer.
Dude, that is so. Doesn't that make you cringe inside a little
does.
bit?
I just kind of shriveled up. I was like,
you're like, it's just like some dude working at sign design is reaching out really hard, like, hi. He's just looking for friends.
There was no comma. It was just hi.
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 They're like, what are these stupid kids doing with the email accounts? What is this? Oh, I dropped my hat. Oh, Jason dropped his hat. Oh, he's old. Oh, his back hurts.
Jason, are you okay?
Gonna make it. Oh, anyway.
You gonna die of old age right here in this chair?
Yeah, this is definitely gonna happen, man. I'm getting so old. You know, it's funny. I was talking to my brother the other day about. No, I wasn't talking to him about anything. We were just joking around, and he mentioned that. No, I mentioned that. I was like, dude, it actually hurts to stand up now. You know, it actually hurts to like get up a little bit. I just feel like achy in the knees, a little weak. You know, the back is like really. And I'm not exaggerating. Like, there's serious pain going on every time I like stand up from a seated position. Not like when I'm sitting on a couch. Like the other day, I was at my brother's and we were playing this game with his son, which was like anyways, we were playing some game with his son, and we were like sitting around his coffee table. So I was like sitting Indian style for God knows what reason, because everybody knows that was the worst sitting style ever invented, by the way, because it's incredibly uncomfortable, especially for me. I had to stand up. And I like collapsed on the floor like halfway up. I was just like, ooh. I was like grabbing my back. And then Tim looks at me. He's like, dude, I now realize, because he just turned 30. He's like, dude, I now realize why Dad used to just groan every time he stood up when we were kids. Just this really long like he was like doing this, and he would like be on his side, and then the way he got up was like he would like roll on his side and then get on all fours, and then like slowly like one leg at a time, just like
ooh. Does he still do that? Or does he get his? Did he go to the chiropractor?
He's so much older now. Oh, he does go to the chiropractor now, but he's even older now, so he's almost 60.
Oh, yeah.
So he's yeah.
Just
he was in his 40s back then, but now it all makes sense because we're like, dude, I get it now, because I'm like already getting to that point. So it was. I didn't even remember how I started talking about this. I was talking about Spotify.
Yeah, we were talking about Spotify.
I was gonna talk about the survey that they sent to me. They ask you all kinds of questions to see, to feel out your podcast, pretty much, to get the thumbs up approval. They even write like multiple times throughout the process. They have it in like bold. They're like, there is no guarantee that this will result in your podcast being on our website, like multiple times. Okay, they asked for a brief description of the podcast and the provider. So I wrote, the whole time I was coming off with this attitude, like, we would help you guys. You need us. And it's hilarious because they're a platform of millions. But I'm like, it's us. So,
yeah, we the people, right?
So I was like, what did I type? I said, they asked for the description of the podcast and the provider. I said, Jason and Mike delve deep into the things that matter most in life, vaping and the Holocaust. Join the crew as they casually discuss everything from life, gaming, and music to current events in this weekly podcast that goes live every Friday night. The world sucks a lot. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows
it.
So we might as well be amused with it. A podcast to help the everyday man / woman / other relax from the stresses of life and love, applying a millennial perspective to current events. Jason and Mike take a humorous approach to current events and the deep, dark underbelly that is reality. So it's pretty much it's just us making fun of ourselves and the world on this stage. But you know how I talk it up. But they ended up asking, they asked at the end, they said, anything you'd like to tell us? Like, that's such like a weird question to ask, isn't it? For like a corporation to be like, well, is there anything else you'd like to tell us?
Yeah, it's like this.
It's like
someone's
you can't just write
something.
like closing comments. Anything else you'd like to tell us, Jason? Anything? We need to know. So it's like,
you need to tell us right now.
So I said, I'd love the opportunity to be a part of your growing podcast community. I think we have a content fit for your typical users, such as millennials and gamers. I believe being a part of your platform is a good opportunity for us to grow our base of fans and also direct more people to your media services. You see how I'm subtly like nudged? As a longtime supporter and proponent of Spotify Premium, and in quotes I put, I've given you guys a lot of money, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. To my friends and colleagues, I hope you will grant us the privilege of being a part of your great and growing podcast platform. I appreciate you reading this to completion. I truly hope a bot isn't reviewing this form. Seriously. Anyway, thanks for your consideration.
It's like it better not be.
Guarantee it like 90% chance that's a bot that looks at those things, and then it might go to a human like after, just to make sure, you know.
Maybe you have to use like certain words like excellent or wonderful.
It just they've got like certain keywords that they like will trigger it to send it to a human to be like, oh, they actually care. Yeah, this isn't someone just bullshitting, you know. That's what I imagine it's like. But I don't know.
Maybe
so. We may or may not be on Spotify. Wow, my pits are smelly. Anyways, other news. Next week we will not be having an episode. I know. I'm sorry. Pour one out for us. Thanksgiving next week, I believe. Right?
Yeah. Probably.
Thanksgiving's next week.
It should be.
So we'll be with family, and not together. But I will be with my family, and Mike will be with his family as well. And we'll be just enjoying that time. And I advise you guys to do the same, unless you're like the squatters that like dump trash at our apartment complex. Then you probably don't have a family.
You live on your own.
You're always invited if you want to come out and hang out at my apartment. I won't be home, but leave some food for you, maybe a couple slices of bread. I think you have some ramen noodles.
There's some bread over there. I think
some ramen in the cabinet.
Yeah,
you can have that. That's okay. It's
I'll
I'll
staple a pack to the wall for you.
This is for you.
It's marked safe for human consumption.
Do we consider them humans? Yes, sir. Everyone's human. Anyways, we had, drum roll please, our first comment on our Facebook page. Shouts out. I said I would dedicate, I promised this a couple episodes ago, 2 minutes to the first person that would comment on something.
Here we go.
I believe it was, let me click here, Talisa Hyatt. I want to thank you, Talisa, for commenting. We're old friends. I appreciate your patronage to our channel by simply listening to it and commenting.
And by way of commenting.
Yes, I appreciate it. That's what keeps us going. It's just people getting involved, which will happen, guys. I'm still waiting on you guys.
We'll wait on you, baby. We love you
all night.
We know you listening.
You just precious. I don't know. That was now we'll get to
back to Talisa, right?
Oh yes, we still have another minute to go with this. Shouts out to you. We appreciate it.
Shouts out. There you go.
Much love, fam. We go way back, good friends. I'm glad that someone's keeping up with this podcast, and it also, if you other guys, if you guys comment, send us emails at amusewiththeworldpodcast@gmail.com, and we'll respond to it by talking about it on the podcast or whatever. So thanks a lot for that. We appreciate it.
And speaking of our plentiful fan interactions that happen quite frequently,
we're up to 7 subscribers on the YouTube channel. Woo, yeah! Oh, yeah! Gotta run a lap for this one. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm back.
We do need more people.
But
I mean, we're not begging for comments, but we're begging for... No.
Don't worry, we're not. I was going to say, and we're working heartily on the website. The website will be up soon. When I say soon, I wanted it to be up by the beginning of this month, but obviously that didn't happen because I'm not a multitasker.
Yeah, it'll probably be up by the end of the year.
End of the year, yeah. Yep. I definitely handed that task off to Mike.
Mm-hmm. Hot in the trail.
How is it going, Mike?
I think
with
it's going
the
great.
website. I've seen some snippets of it. I'm liking what I see.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
I don't really have a background in web design, but anyone can just like copy and paste elements onto a web page with Squarespace or Wix. So,
yeah, it looks good. What I'm seeing. Not that I know anything about it, but it does look good. So
it looks good.
That'll be up. Can we commit to the end of the year?
Yeah, I think we can.
By the end of the year. So
we can.
It'll be a nice little Christmas present to all of us. From us here at Amused with the World.
Watch out for it. Amusewiththeworldpodcast.com.
Yep. And also on SoundCloud now as well. So
we be out there.
We'll be posting. We're probably still gonna maybe post the YouTube links and SoundCloud links. So if you'd rather just listen, obviously you'll be able to do SoundCloud. You'll be able to download us on iTunes, Google Play. That way you can just listen on the go. You don't have to commit to sitting there and watching, a screen, which is frustrating. We understand that. Thanks for sticking with us. But now that that's all taken care of,
Oh, one more thing.
What's up?
We are considering opening up a Patreon.
That'll probably be in the more distant future. Once we get things circulating and people following and stuff. That's definitely something we'll be.
Just keep it in the back of our minds, But eventually,
that'll be for people that would like to support us. We're doing this for absolutely fuck all. So, but we're gonna keep doing it. Probably whether you give money or not, but it'd be better to have money than not.
That's true. That's definitely true.
So getting into the meat of it today, we've got a couple more accusations from. God, I'm getting tired of saying this. We have more accusations coming out of Hollywood for people touching each other inappropriately when they shouldn't be. We'll put it that way.
They're being sexual deviants. They're straying from the Lord. They're committing sins.
Definitely doing things they shouldn't be doing.
They're liars. They're thieves.
For sure. The first one to drop, this was recently. It was I don't know if you guys have heard about it yet. Louis C.K. This just happened. Louis C.K. was accused of, graphic warning here, because apparently some people don't understand that we have an explicit podcast.
I think we're beyond accused.
Yeah.
He admitted.
He even apologized for it already. But what I was going to say, I was going to forewarn you guys, a little graphic. He's masturbating. He's accused of masturbating in front of, I think it's, I've read about 3, but I've heard it's up to 5 women have come forward mentioning that he was doing it. So that's really
so that's fucked up.
I just want to say this, that as fucked up as that is, I find it hilarious because Louis C.K. literally looks like a guy that would jerk off in front of people without their permission. It's got like the balding scalp, like just like the ginger hair, and just like looks creepy.
I could see his worried face, just all sweaty, jerking
slightly
off
overweight, just like, oh man, it puts his stand up in a whole new light. I'm like, now I can look at that guy and be like, yeah, I was right. This guy does look like someone that jerks off in front of people without their permission. Now we can put that one to bed or not to bed because they didn't give permission.
I think that the media nailed it on the Louis C.K. articles in the story on it. I think they nailed it because they covered it quite well. Mm-hmm. And I think Louis C.K. didn't do any justice to his cause. Because he didn't try to fight it or anything.
Because he when you get allegations by 5 people, and none of them are false, at that point you're in too deep. Just apologize. All you're gonna do is start digging yourself further and further down into that pit, and you're never gonna get out. Not that I would know, but I imagine that's what it's like. So I think that's what he did. He realized there was nothing going to come of him not admitting to it. So that's what he did. He said, you know what, I'm sorry. And I believe this happened in the early 2000s. So it's been a number of years. And I'm wondering if it's past the statute of limitations. If it's like past 15 years, you can't be convicted of a crime. Yeah. They can't take you to court over it.
There's something like that, yeah.
I'm just interested that this is coming out now. I mean, maybe it's because of the Weinstein thing and everything that's happened since then, that everybody has confidence that they can actually be heard now. But
yeah, the Me Too thing.
If it was that bothersome to you for 15 years, wouldn't you have come forward at some point? 5 different women.
Yeah, it's like they just hopped on the bandwagon. It's like,
yeah, that's almost what it feels like.
I'm not doubting these women because obviously it's true.
I'm not going to disparage a victim.
Right. Right. So they all came forward at the same time.
I'm questioning
for bigger impact, probably.
I guess I'm not even questioning. I am questioning. I'm questioning why it's happening now. Why didn't it happen, a handful of years ago even?
It just happens to be 2017's hot new trend. You know,
yeah, dude,
it's happening everywhere.
2017, the year of touchling.
The touchling, the touchling year.
It's a conspiracy.
It's crazy how much this is happening.
Oh,
maybe news coverage has just gotten a lot more negative lately. Maybe that's it. Everyone, you know, it's just every single news outlet is constantly covering negative news stories on everything.
I like to think that the Hollywood thing is finally blowing up because this isn't an isolated thing. It's been going on for a while, and there's a lot of people involved in it. I mean, the Louis C.K. thing, compared to some of this crap that I'm reading, is a lot more tame, which is hilarious considering he was jerking off in front of women that did not give him his consent. Give him their consent. And it was tame compared to the other stuff that I'm reading about.
Yeah, because no one was touched. You know, it was just
let me read the excerpt. This is an excerpt from the New York Times. They wrote, if I can read it. This is talking about the women. Okay, Louis invited a couple women. This was the first story to come out. Invited a couple women to come to his hotel room for a nightcap after they performed at the. I believe it was the U.S. Comedy Arts Festival in Aspen, Colorado. And he invited them to perform. After they performed, he asked if they want to come for a nightcap, and he's a really popular comedian, especially at the time. So they're like, yeah, hell yeah. So they go up to his room and blah, blah, blah. Pretty much they sit down. They haven't even taken off their coats to, like, you know, grab a drink or whatever. And he looks right at him and he says, do you mind if I take out my penis right now?
and their reaction...
He just says it.
And their reaction was the same, you know?
Dude, there is no subtlety to it. He asked if he could take out his penis. And apparently the women responded. They laughed it off. They thought it was a joke. And lo and behold, this man just starts pulling his pants off. And there's his Johnson for all the world to see.
And then he gets completely naked.
Did he take? I don't even know if he took his shirt off. Would it be okay? Time out. Would it be more weird if he took his shirt off as well, or if he left it on?
What, like lazy, like okay.
Like lazily just leaves his shirt on, or he's too dedicated to the bit, takes his shirt off. I can't tell which one's more awkward.
What do you leave your pants on but take your shirt off?
Yeah, I mean, how committed to sexual misconduct are you?
Yeah, really.
Do you want to go full nude, or you want to keep the shirt on? Yeah. You know, would have been weird if he was just. I
think
if he's still wearing whitey tighties. Like, I can imagine Louis is the kind of guy that wears whitey tighties. Obviously, based on Louis, I would imagine that he was wearing whitey tighties. I can't even get that image out of my mind. It's just this slightly overweight ginger. Like with a receding hairline, because he probably had one since birth,
right?
And he's just like whitey tighties, got a little bit of a muffin top going on, right? Where his skin's kind of tucked into the excess skin's kind of tucked into the.
Maybe in like 20 years he'll look like that.
Dude's pretty old right now.
How old is he?
Well, this happened. He's got to be in his
late 30s, ago. Right?
Late 30s, dude's. I'm pretty sure he's in his 40s. Okay, so he might have been in his 20s when this happened.
Yeah, right.
I don't know how old he is. He looks like he's been in a war, though. The man looks like he has a foot in the grave, like how he acts and his demeanor, just like he's ready to go. But
maybe he has like cancer or something.
Don't get me wrong, I enjoy Louis C.K. I think he's a great comedian. I like his stuff. Not as much now as I did before, but I do like his stuff. Anyways, that was the Louis C.K. story, and I don't know. Kind of sucks seeing someone that you kind of like respected in a sense, like, oh, they are normal. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't call that normal. That's a little messed up. That's not normal. That's not normal, guys. Please don't drop your pants in front of women that don't want it, ever. Please do not do that. Please. We do not condone that on this podcast. Yes, do not look up to people that do that either. Unless they ask Jesus for forgiveness. Then it's all good.
Yeah, then it's cool.
Then it's all good. All right, so that's a good place for us to. We're gonna do intermission real quick. We'll be right back, guys. All right.
See you then.
And we're back from the intermission. I want to thank our sponsors at sorry, we don't have sponsors today.
Shit.
Whoops.
Whoopsie.
I was reading the wrong cue card. That's the wrong cue card.
That one's unfinished.
All of them are unfinished. They actually don't exist. So we just finished talking about Louis C.K. and his little fiasco. I call it a diasco because it involves the...
Oh.
So I'm glad we took a short intermission there because it's heavy stuff. One more accusation. Well, one more big one. There have been like 4 this week of actors, but I'm only mentioning the 2 that I know of. George Takei. George Takei himself. If you guys don't know who George Takei is, you know the guy that was on those Taco Bell commercials that said, "Oh my," you know, that guy, the very, very flamboyantly gay
or
Japanese
Star
man.
Trek. If
also Star Trek for the old people out there that listen to this podcast. Yes, you'll know George Takei.
But that's,
well, I'm saying
that's
more
just
for
about it. That's just about it.
I feel like a lot of people don't know. Well, no, few people don't know who he is. You know who he is now, though. So he's on a Taco Bell commercial. He was on Star Trek. He's pretty famous for being flamboyantly homosexual. Nothing wrong with that. Although it gets a little weird when you get a little handsy with people that don't want you to be handsy with them. I'll put it that way.
Especially in his case.
Especially in his case because he keeps doing it and it's almost like he's proud of it.
And he's a creepy motherfucker.
Dude's creepy. We literally just finished watching a video of him doing an interview on Howard Stern where he talks about, or doesn't talk about, Howard asked him if he had ever made moves on people that or been forceful, kind of, maybe without their permission, maybe, and he kind of laughed it off and he didn't say no. And then he had this weird way of justifying what he did. He said something along the lines of, "Oh, well, some people are just skittish and they're scared, but, you know, they learn soon enough," kind of thing. Like, which is really creepy to say about anybody. That's a really weird, messed up kind of justification for, you know, when someone doesn't give consent. Pretty much, he was accused of grabbing dudes by the dick without their consent. This allegation was someone in a model in 1981. The accusation just happened now. But, I mean, once again, statute of limitations, he's not going to be able to be convicted of that. That was like 30 years ago. So maybe, I don't know why they'd be coming forward now. Probably because of the climate, like we were talking about.
Right.
So you had all these people coming forward now, so people feel like they need to come forward. Maybe it's just something they want to get off their chest. Maybe they're still upset about it, but they never had the balls to come out before. They thought it wouldn't matter before because these people were too powerful. Because George Takei, he's been very open. If people were paying attention, they'd know he's been very open with how he acts with other people, other men.
Yeah.
Is, you know, in the respect to sexual conduct. He's been on the Howard Stern show many times, dating as far back. The video we watched was from 2012. Him talking about without actually explicitly saying that he was taking advantage of people pretty much without their consent and grabbing, you know, Johnsons. And then there was the other one. This is just overall creepy behavior. Not that there's anything wrong with this case. They did another episode with him on where they had the 5 curtains, different colored curtains. They had a different.
Right. Yeah, that one was
They had like
creepy.
a different dude behind each curtain with a slit cut in it, and it was like, it was messed up because, like, yeah, the guys are giving consent, but this dude was going to touch each guy and compare.
Yeah, which is one fucked up.
He was going to touch each of their members.
Yeah.
And he was going to compare them. And then the winner, he got to see. He said something about Howard Stern said, and we talked on the commercial break, and yeah, you're going to get to see them naked too. He's like, yes, we did talk about that. Like, he was so satisfied with that. And this is like a regular occurrence. This dude is always doing creepy stuff like that. Yeah, he might be getting consent from these dudes, but they're offering the winner $500. First of all, which is another like messed up thing. I'm like, okay. But pretty much, yeah, he was going to, fondle each and every one of them and then compare. And then pick a winner and get to look at like, it's just a really messed up like thing to do. Like, I don't even care. It could be like, can you imagine a straight person doing this? Imagine put a guy on there, a very straight man, the straightest man you can think of. Who is it?
Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris. Imagine Chuck gets on there, wholesome Chuck, good old Chuck with his beard, and he's just being great. And then they got 5 curtains set up, and they've got 5 women that work in the radio station at NPR, right? Behind these curtains. And they just like drop their drawers, and Chuck sticks his hand through, some cracks in these curtains or whatever, and fondles each and every one of them and compares them on live radio. How does that would never happen?
No, that
right?
would not fly.
That would never fly. Ever. Not today.
No.
Ever. That wouldn't.
But why is it acceptable for it to be men? Is it because they accept that George Takei is just a creepy motherfucker?
I think it's more that a lot of people just don't give. They're like, they're dudes.
I don't really understand that bit at all.
It's creepy. It's him getting an excuse to be creepy. And seems like he's been that way for a while. Because like I said, the one bit was from 2012. He has an accusation from 1981. So this day, there is probably a lot going on in between there. I've watched numerous interviews with this guy, and a lot of this stuff was happening even when he had a boyfriend. So I mean, I'm not talking shit, but like that's common decency to not do those kind of things in general. First of all, because I think it's really messed up, and secondly, to do it when you have a significant other, like that's messed up towards them. And his boyfriend was not happy when that happened, but. I digress. The point is that if the roles were reversed, this would be really, and by roles I mean if this was women, not men, this would be an issue.
Oh yeah.
And this happened years ago. No one really batted an eye at it. They're like, oh, it's just a gay dude touching penises, But there's like, dude, this is really messed up. This is on live radio on NPR.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, NPR is publicly funded.
Right. Yeah.
Government funded, which means tax dollars pay for this garbage.
Is Howard Stern directly associated with NPR though?
I thought he was. His show is on NPR, is it not?
I don't listen to Howard Stern.
Oh, I don't either. That's why I have to check. Let me fact check myself real quick.
I know he was on satellite like Sirius XM.
That's what it was. I think it was Sirius Radio.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think this was particular. Okay, I rescind my statement, guys. Don't quote me, please. No, it wasn't. I don't think this was NPR because I remember seeing the advertisement for it when we watched that video. It was a Sirius XM station.
Right. Okay.
I think Howard Stern might have a show on NPR, but it's not that. That one is Sirius XM, which makes sense for the content being so god awful.
Oh gosh.
And disturbing.
Yeah, I only listen to Disney Channel radio on Sirius XM. It's my favorite channel.
What is this?
You never heard the Disney radio station?
No.
They play.
Do they play sing-alongs?
They play teen tween pop hits, and some of their pop hits are from Disney Channel shows.
Do they just play pop hits from that one YouTube kid, Matt something?
No, it's not like kids music.
Kids music.
Not that I listen to it,
Yeah, you do. Don't lie.
No, I don't.
Don't lie.
I do not.
Don't lie.
But it is my favorite. My favorite radio station for pure comedic value.
Through the wall, we got thin walls. I can hear it.
Yeah, you hear the Disney Channel.
I can hear the Katy Perry.
Katy Perry.
Don't you ever feel
the Joe Jonas
like a bag drifting in the wind?
Yeah.
Dude, I don't even know how that song goes to make fun of it. Let alone quote it. But yeah, this is just more. It's hilarious because it's when he was accused of it, instead of saying no, the first thing he said was that it was Russian bots that posted this on Twitter. Instead of refuting and saying this isn't true, the first thing he did was say Russia did it.
Yeah.
Russia.
Like, he pretty much he pretty much confirmed everyone's suspicions.
And it could have been bots from Russia on Twitter.
He's probably just getting old and senile too.
I mean that too, but he's never lost sight of his love for Wiener. Shouldn't the first thing someone does be like refute the accusation against you and say, no, I didn't do it, instead of being like, these tweets are coming from Russians? It just seems silly.
You know what? He probably saw some memer with like a Vladimir Putin like avatar on Twitter. And he's like, that's Vladimir Putin. It's from Russia.
Comrade over here.
Like this old creepy fuck just surfing on Twitter. Comrade. He's like, that's Vladimir Putin.
Yeah, it is, 'cause by the way he is.
You could tell because of his picture. Russian agents.
Do you think when he was scrolling through his news feed and he hears that and he's just like, what's this? Somebody got married? Cool. What is this? George Takai? Oh my. Do you think he said that as it happened?
As it happened, maybe.
He says, oh my.
Like, oh, Vladdy.
Oh, Vladdy. Vladdy. Oh, man. Oh, crap. I wanted to say something about him. One more thing. But I just find it really hypocritical that as a proponent for he's an activist for everything or whatever these days, right? He's very vocal supporter of, LGBT, third wave feminism.
Well, of course.
That kind of stuff. Yet he is so, it seems like he's been inconsiderate to many people in the past with his conduct, his sexual conduct especially. And it's projecting once again, like I talked about a couple episodes ago with the NeoGAF thing. It's projection. 100%. Same kind of thing with the Louis C.K. stuff. A lot of his talks were about, how shitty men are.
Right.
But he was just a shitty person.
Yeah,
that was his whole thing.
Super hypocritical. Like all these people.
It could have just been guilt. I don't know. However, I will say that, I listen to the Bill Burr podcast on Mondays sometimes, and he was talking about it, and he knows Louis, and he's like, yeah, it's fucked up. He shouldn't have done it, right? But he's like, at least he apologized for it. And also, like, accusations are one thing. Like, remember, this is still the land of liberty. You are innocent until proven guilty. And we got to stand by that, even if it's somebody we don't like. Like, I don't like George Takai. Like, not a bit. There's plenty of, breadcrumbs of evidence that would probably lead this accusation to be true, but I'm not going to jump on that bandwagon before anything's proven. Plus, it was so long ago that's not even going to, at this point, it's not even going to matter. So, I don't know. I don't like him, but, he's still innocent until proven guilty kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
everybody gets, you
still have to
fair
respect
shake.
People's rights.
They get their fair shake, even if they didn't ask to be shooken.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like
even some people may have been kind of accused of sexual assault and maybe not have even done it. Like that Moore guy who's running for governor of, can't say,
a state.
Definitely a state. I heard it in the news. He's been accused by like 2 women conveniently timed with him running for governor.
They always pick the perfect times, don't they, to do that, right?
And apparently he's still leading in the polls even after all this news, because he's just been like.
Was he accused by Jane Doe's? Did they release names?
Yeah, I think they did. Like,
they had real
gave
names.
A speech.
Oh wow!
Gave a speech.
Okay, that's impressive. Because typically it's like done by a Jane Doe, and they have no proof. But what they do is you can file a lawsuit without a name attached to it. Yeah. And it will appear in it'll appear in documentation, like that it was filed, but it hasn't gone to court or anything, and then they'll end up pulling it. before it ever ends up going to court.
Yeah.
So it doesn't actually do anything. It's just used to kind of belittle someone. That's, of course, if it's a false accusation. People have done that before. So you got to be weary of that. I should say leery of that. You wouldn't be weary of that unless you were sick of it, because it happened all the time. So enough about this. I honestly think what we're gonna do is we're gonna create maybe a whiteboard or a chart of some kind with all the actors, producers, directors that are getting accused of sexual misconduct, assault, rape, all those things. We're gonna make a chart of it, and we're gonna start marking off names. We're also gonna make a list of all the ones that haven't been that we think might be, and we're gonna organize it.
A board game.
Yeah,
out of it.
Absolutely. What we're gonna do is we're gonna organize it in a way. We're gonna make a bingo board, and we're gonna call it the "Don't Touch Me" square. And every time a new person gets accused, we're gonna mark off a name, and we're gonna try and get a bingo on it.
And how many women is kind of another thing. Like maybe that's your cash. I don't know.
Maybe like we'll have a winner at the end of it that has like the highest number. Weinstein's already winning, right?
But in this game, winners are losers.
Yes. So we're definitely gonna do that. That's definitely gonna happen.
Probably gonna.
What do you guys think? Who is the next one to be accused?
Let us know in the comments.
Let us know in the comments. Let us know on our Facebook. Email us. I don't know if we already had one against George Clooney, but I could definitely see it.
I could see it coming.
I could definitely see George Clooney.
I swear George Clooney did.
I feel like he's already been accused, though. I feel like he has. But if I would say my money would be on George Clooney, and if they haven't been accused already, Matt Damon.
Oh, I got one. Michael Jackson's dead corpse.
Was he touching dead bodies?
No, they'd probably
if Michael Jackson bury him near a playground.
If Michael Jackson was alive nowadays, I bet that there would be like numerous people coming forward against him in this political
this climate. Yes.
Yeah. Just imagine, it's like I don't think he's the equivalent to Bill Cosby, but I know he did some
I don't think he was ever actually. He was accused of a lot of stuff, but he was just like a very deranged dude. I don't know if he ever actually molested any children or anything like that. I don't think they ever proved anything like that. He did have sleepovers and stuff, like some weird stuff.
Yeah.
Mostly stemming from like his lack of childhood and his mental instability. Dude held a baby out of a window. Did he not? Wasn't that him holding the baby out of the window, like the 2-month-old baby, like from like 4 stories high? It was like on television.
That's crazy.
Like he did some weird messed up stuff. Like I don't think he was Bill Cosby level. And I don't know that he even touched any children. That could have been accusations. And nothing like that was proven in court, so I'm not going to back it up.
Well, the board game is definitely coming.
The board games are coming.
The whiteboard's coming.
I'm getting excited to play some bingo. So, guys, let us know who you think is going to be next.
And remember, we are on iTunes, and we are also on Google Play Music.
Yes.
And soon to be on Spotify, baby. Yeah.
Nah, I don't know if
we're not getting our hopes
up. But I am getting my hopes up, though. And real quick, before you go, I hope you guys have a great holiday, great Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we will be off the next week.
Yeah, we will be off next week, but we will be back the week after. So get pumped. Have fun with your families.
Eat lots of turkey.
Just like don't overdose on turkey.
Yeah, don't
do that, please. God, please.
Also, watch your alcohol intake on the holidays, guys. Don't drink and drive.
Do not drink and drive.
Be responsible.
If you want to shitpost on our email address, it's amusedtheworldpodcast@gmail.com.
And soon you can go on the website and contact us there.
Yes.
Coming by the end of the year.
If you're interested in being on the show, let us know.
Yep.
All right. You guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving. God bless. If somebody asks you if they can take their pants off in front of you and diddle their pickle, say no.
Say no.
Say no.
No.
No. Unless you're into it.
Unless you're into it.
You're totally into it. Unless you're totally into it, then just I don't care.
Signing off.
Codes 6 Randy Newman.